Hey everyone, this is Ben. Just wanted to check in and give you a quick update on the status of the podcast. We are currently recording a new game set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe that Lauren has put together and is running for us. If you know Vampire the Masquerade, you know it tends to be a very dark and sexy game setting, but it's us. So in this case, it also tends to be a bit more goofy than your usual game is in that setting. But we still think you guys are going to love it, and we want to take some time to make sure we have enough of it recorded and properly edited to do it justice. We also just finished releasing our first Patreon exclusive mini adventure, which we hope you enjoyed. We do recognize that it has an ending that ties pretty directly into my character Wrath from season one's backstory. And if you hadn't listened to that, it probably didn't make a lot of sense, and we apologize for that. We realized after we started releasing it that it could be a little confusing. If you're curious to see how that all ties together, to meet our season one characters, some of which you did see cameo in season two, we hope you'll check out our first season. The next episodes that we're going to be releasing for the podcast here are behind the scenes discussions of those early episodes. And the first one that follows this covers our first 17 episode arc, which introduced the characters and the world to everyone. We hope you enjoy it, and as always, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, it's Tor. So it turns out that there's a bunch of guys that watch us while we're saving the world and adventuring and not doing things for ourselves and making a profit. It's kind of creepy because they sit around and talk about what we did and then they judge us. Listen to them for yourselves. Let us know what you think. And hopefully you also find it creepy.
You want to jump into behind the DM screen? Or?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Whee! All right, I'm just going to keep everything rolling.
We need a little song for behind the screen, I feel like.
Oh.
Before I go into a theme
Behind
song.
the screen.
And I fell on top of it.
All right.
Want to know it into the scene? Check us out on Behind the Screen.
It's not bad.
You're fired.
Well,
We got another backup bard.
But he wasn't hired, so...
That's true. I don't know if you can fire someone.
All right, so today we will look doing a behind the scenes with the cast and crew, if we had crew, because we're also our own crew, I suppose.
so still accurate,
So
though.
cast and
Yeah.
cast and there you go.
Yeah. So we'll kind of cover the first 4 or 5 episodes or so. I'll start off. So in episode 2, the one thing we all completely were ignorant to was when Wrath got his scroll. Like, it didn't register like, hey, maybe we should ask this guy what he got. So Wrath and or Kyle, were either of you... I want to say, were you surprised by us not acknowledging it, or was it kind of what you were expecting?
I mean, Kyle literally threw a scroll across the table at me, and you guys were like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to go punch something now.
I think we're still a little self-involved at this point and currently. So.
Yeah, it was at that point.
I think a part of the problem there was I wasn't planning for the scene to end there. So that kind of would have made the flow go more towards like, hey, what is that scroll? But due to timing, we ended up ending the scene there. So by the time we started recording the next scene, everybody's mind was kind of wiped a little bit.
Well, we're not the most observant group of adventurers, though, either, considering the guy that you hammered into us for the first several episodes as wearing the,
Yeah, the fine clothes.
the fine clothes, and I didn't. Again, I had to listen to the first episode 3 times before I picked up on it, and I knew about it.
Yeah, there was originally a very important NPC to the storyline who gets mentioned in the first episode, and nobody asked about him. And then every time he was supposed to come back up, you guys made a decision that cut him out. And so by the time we got halfway through the arc, I just had to remove his character because he couldn't show up at that point.
Hello,
because
I'm
his,
here.
Yeah, exactly. This,
Why,
like,
if it isn't at the last moment, he shows up.
I'm the other one.
And you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
You are.
he was actually supposed to be one of the red herrings as to who was the main villain behind the arc. He was really supposed to build it up so everybody suspected him, but
I think we all suspected
Never
Captain
made-
Asshole pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was the point to the other guy. So he just seemed like an asshole, and that was it. And this guy was supposed to seem like a villain, but
Oh, yeah.
since he never showed his face,
Well, like Blofeld, he pulls strings from behind the scenes. He can still be.
We
a
just
villain.
happened to wander wherever he wasn't.
Wherever he
at the
was.
time.
Yeah, it literally
He was off kicking orphans somewhere, and we were like, "Pretty sky."
It was a pretty sky.
It was
though.
It was pretty beautiful.
He painted a beautiful word picture
Yeah.
with that one. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So in the
So once again, we have not discussed the scroll. Just wanted to point that out.
oh yeah,
All right. Pretty consistent. Real life. All right.
Moving on.
Scroll.
Scrawl.
We also managed to spoil 5 episodes past where we were discussing.
oh,
Well,
good for us. This will come out later,
this
so
won't
it's
come out till
fine.
then.
I know.
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. It's funny.
we'll say episodes 1 through 10.
So in the town defense episode, what was the one thing that we did not do that you kind of expected us to do, or vice versa? I know we discussed elephants
yeah. And not
in
using
gates
them.
and things like that. Oh, I'm throwing him off.
No. I there was a couple town defense episodes. I think which one you
Okay.
were talking about.
Not the one with the. I can't say.
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
going to
don't
spoil
say
other
it. Yeah.
episodes.
The initial one where we like had to fix the gates, something to do with like find guards, and then
We had to recruit people.
and then basically think of defenses for the town. And
Yes.
I was like, I'll think of defenses. Elephants. Which,
I had a couple hidden things in there that you guys hadn't fully explored the town at that point, but there were things you could have used. There was actually, I couldn't even tell you what they were anymore, but there was in the library, if you had rolled well enough, there was actually a book on the city that would have explained defenses they had in the past that you could have used. There was also somewhere along the lines, and again, I can't remember where, there were hints that on how to build catapults and ballista. 2 different points too. It wasn't at the same location, so you could have found either of them and built them. Other than that, you guys actually did follow most of what I had planned in there.
Yeah, I think in that one, all of our 20s really screwed you up on that episode.
God, yes, yeah. That was one of those fun episodes that was supposed to take a really long time, and it was just like, oh, all right, guess this is fully defended.
the magic of an RPG, where
Yeah.
we work
Yep.
together to create this wonderful world and fuck it up for the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Tor rolled like like he used his stone cunning or whatever
Yes.
it was and rolled a 20 plus his knowledge of woodworking from his past and
Yeah.
ended up getting super high rolls. And
Yeah,
the one
that-
that I didn't roll well on was I just got the blacksmith. And
Oh.
I was like, "Can you make this?"
Yeah, it is. Okay.
I think it was like, "Oh, it's a Lock D400. I
Yeah.
know this model."
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was that went as planned.
Nice,
Not at all.
as most of ours do.
Yeah.
So, how the hell were we supposed to find the treasure on the sunken ship? Like, how? I don't think any of us had water breathing, but that was one of the options.
Yeah, so
And we had to collect the gold to pay our debt.
So that mission, had you chosen it, the ship was actually going to be just off the coast, like half out of the water. It wasn't going to be that deep. So the
Would've been
reason
good
that
knowledge
nobody
at the time.
yeah, exactly. It was one of those things where you would have had to go and check it out or look into it more, but you guys just
He just
decided-
read Sunken
Just
Ship. We're
let's
like,
do it.
nope,
Yeah.
pass.
I don't like swimming.
Yeah, but that one, it was actually going to have
Only dog
monsters
problem.
on the beach before the ship, which is why no one had ever gotten the treasure before. It's why it was still there, is because you had to get past that to get to
Were they
the ship.
kobolds?
No.
Monster you have is
They
kobolds.
only live in the canyon.
Maybe some of them drifted, like when the rains came and washed them into the
Yeah,
water,
they were
and bits and
sleeping.
pieces of kobolds are
They
now in there.
became sea kobolds.
Yeah,
Very, very common sea kobolds.
and I guess in the same venue, then, like the crow was that.
So yeah, that was just a nest that had a crow that gathered a lot of gold. I think it was the second. Kobold Canyon had the highest chance of getting the most gold, but
Okay.
you know it had that chance of not getting it. Although you guys obliterated that.
Glad for the sleep spell. That's like the one time it's going to be useful. 'Cause
Yeah.
every
You
other
just
time,
run around
like
and stomp
that's,
on them.
you haven't rolled enough hit points to put that one to sleep.
Yeah.
Kobolds have 1 hit point.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
useful then.
But the crow was going to have the second highest amount of gold, but you were going to have to climb up this really high cliff while fighting off a couple things. And when you got up there, the crow was going to be a giant crow. It was going to be this giant, monstrous crow that you guys were going to have to fight.
I still don't think it would be that scary. One spear to the heart, it's still a crow.
It's still a crow.
Yeah.
Well, you were fighting on the edge of a cliff at the time, like hanging on rocks climbing style. So,
Fair enough.
Cliffhanger.
yeah.
Boo! I love it. I love it.
Oh, you guys don't like Cliffhanger? I love that
Great movie.
Yeah.
John Lithgow, come on.
Yeah.
And anybody else?
Oh, everyone's
really
unprepared for class.
Just Ben really looked like he was about to say something. I too did. Like, here it comes.
No.
So about that scroll.
Well, that's all the time we have.
Could you actually read the DM's handwriting? Is the question.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually took a lot of time writing that out just to be sure. Actually, funny thing about the scroll, going back to it now, there were supposed to be a total of 6 scrolls.
Wow.
I learned my lesson pretty quick.
Okay.
He did put, so he had the actual text that was my directive, since we've already spoiled in advance, from Beelzebub to find ways to stop the oncoming demonic invasion. But he actually had a blank sheet that I was supposed to pretend that was there. I was like, I can't do that. Like, I walked away and read this thing for like 5 minutes in physically when we were doing
really
it.
intently.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a fake one. So that's when I made up the stupid thing about a court summons.
And I was like, yes.
I didn't know that was fake.
Yeah, that was one of Raph's many lies.
Many lies.
Yeah, don't worry. I made a joke about it in one of the intros. So
Cool.
you were teleported away, but still, jury duty found you.
Yeah, so that was
deep.
I enjoyed that. I thought it was funny, but then it was flabbergasting.
Yeah.
That nobody asked about it. It's like that's.
I think we were
seems pretty important.
This is like the first batch of episodes. I think we were so like intent at this point to be like, okay,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? What am I gonna make my character interesting and stuff? And we're so self-involved at this point, and we're still building that.
And I
but we're
think-
getting a little better with like
We're
kind
very-
of.
We were
boosting
also
everybody else up.
cognizant of the fact that during the first recording, we all had secret backstories. So I think a part of it too was just like, okay, let's not press. We're gonna see how this reveals itself, as opposed to what any normal person would be. It's like, why did it scroll at you?
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me for those first set of episodes was just, aside from it being our first set of episodes, is that when you listen to a podcast or you play a game, it's supposed to be like, oh, we're all buddies, we're all on an adventure. But this was like the one scenario where not only are we don't know each other, but we're in a contest where only one of us can win, and we're supposed to want to win it. So like, it comes across that we're mean to each other and like we're underhanded to a small degree. I don't think terribly so,
Right.
but like we're trying to be true to the characters in the beginning. But it's tough because you're just like, well, I don't want to have the bard help succeed in this song because I still kind of want to be the emperor. So like, there was a weird tension that our group, like, because we were trying to be true, like, didn't fully trust each other. Aside from I think Blag. But then you murdered everybody, and we're like, we're just going to be friends with this guy so he
Blag
doesn't
seems
kill us.
nice.
Well, I
Kills
was very
everyone. Oh,
fortunate
God.
that with Blag, he just wouldn't give a crap about winning the contest anyway. So he had no problem helping out because he just wanted to get it over with to leave. Now, obviously, things went a different way,
Yeah.
but as
could
well
even,
they should. But
You could even just observe too that like, well, it's a more natural. Like it is kind of funny how sometimes you start a game and immediately, this band of adventure are they're immediate friends,
Right.
and like this one actually, it did have a bit of a ramp up, and you
was
know
organic.
our learning how to podcast and make interesting stuff to listen to kind of worked into the awkwardness of getting to know each other's characters.
it was our
So-
own quest that mirrored the quest line that
Exactly.
that Kyle had written. Yeah,
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 and now we don't have
I
any
agree.
excuses because we're like, I don't know how.
We're all besties now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Except for that
actually
one guy.
Yeah, God, I hate him. Wait, it was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's actually one of my pet peeves when a story starts and everybody's already best friends and knows each other, but you don't know anything about them, and then they start, because even though your characters are supposed to know each other, you really don't know each other's characters, and so you keep getting surprised and asking questions about this character that you're supposed to have known. That's why I was like, all right, let me mix this up and make it so this starts as you guys meet. And that's one of the reasons I did the little bit of background, so everybody just had a little taste of what everybody's character was like before you all had to interact. So I was trying to find a unique way to do that, and honestly, it worked out exactly the way I wanted, where you guys grew to be friends, but it wasn't like, hey, comrades, now we are allies.
Yeah.
There
that
was
way,
that.
he doesn't have like if they don't. Oh, the history is we're already friends, and they have a backstory, and then you, like you said, finding out new information about them.
Your name
It's
is
not
Court?
like it's not like I never knew you played the cello. It's that all of a sudden you just seem like a dick. You're like, what? You never talked to him? You could ask. They're people.
He's been carrying this cello around for 3
God.
Thought it
years.
was a weapon.
And everybody, before I decided, actually, I never decided, you guys did, that everybody was going to have these secrets in their background. That was part of the reasons I started it this way, because I was like, all right, if everybody has a secret, you guys can't possibly be that good of friends. Like, because some of them were things that would eventually come up if you knew somebody long enough.
Like how shitty of a ranger someone might actually be.
It's very obvious.
Like, why are you so bad at rangering? I don't.
I'm a bad.
He's kind of like
I'm
the
a
team
bad
mascot,
little-
you know. We just bring him along for fun.
And the tentacles.
Yeah, and like, why do you only sing the TV theme songs?
Because that's that's his.
Well, no, I said it's a character thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's his quirk.
Yeah.
Just like a
Quartz
little peek
quirk.
at the outside. But also, it's just, you know what? Just I immediately forgot what I was going to say.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
That
Very
seems very
interesting.
court-like.
At
That's
least
great.
it won't be, public aired and people will hear that. So
Thank you for making fun of me, not cutting this out.
Oh no, you're gonna be the only one
No,
talking.
I had a point. We were talking about all these things. So well.
This is great
TV
radio.
themes.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, and commenting on it being great radio. It's even better radio.
There's a commentary on our
commenting on the
commentary.
comment. Whoa!
Head explodes.
All right, I think we'll end it there. Thank you, gentlemen.